Hey everyone, I'm going to scrapbook these two pictures today, one of my husband Stu and one of his brother Matt. And we were up at their parents' house for the Eagles game, or maybe it was the Steelers game. I think it was the Eagles and the Steelers that were playing against each other. And as you can see, these two are quite clowns when they get together. So I'm going to scrapbook those pictures today. I'm actually going to, these are 4x6, I'm going to cut them down to 4x4. I'm going to use these papers by my mind's eye. This one is from the Beloved collection, and it's called Sweethearts. And it has these hearts on this side. But I'm going to use this tone-on-tone yellow polka dot. I'm going to use this Craft Fun Day paper. And this is called In Print. This is also from my mind's eye. This is from the Everyday Fun. I'm going to use this My Mind's Eye paper. This is Lost and Found 2. This is Sunshine Lovely Plaid paper. I'm going to use this side here. And then for my background, I'm going to use this My Mind's Eye paper. This is Everyday Fun Remember This paper. And it has this diagonal stripe on that side, but it has this like ledger on this side that I'm going to use. I'm going to ink all of the edges with black soot distress ink because this is a brown and black paper. I don't want to use brown to, I already have brown, but I need to add some black to this paper and that paper to kind of make it all cohesive. I've pulled this sticker sheet from Lost and Found 3. This is the Oliver sticker accessory sheet. And this phrase up here says, "You are so much fun to be around." I'm going to put "You too are so much fun to be around." They're constantly making me laugh. And I'm going to pull some chipboard pieces, I've already punched them out, from this Craft Fun Day, My Mind's Eye, the chipboard elements. And I have these here. I'm going to use some yellow washi tape that looks like this. It's just a like chevron, yellow chevron. And then I've pulled a bunch of embellishments, and I'm not sure. I stamped this a couple weeks ago, Documented Memories, and I thought maybe I could use it this time. I pulled some tags from Canvas Home Basics. I pulled these wood veneer shapes from Studio Calico. Some tickets that say Memories from Recollections. This is My Mind's Eye Indie Chic. These are, let's see, Nutmeg Memories border stickers. I pulled this. This is it from a ATC set. And there's some black, like, not latex, but like rubber string in there. I thought maybe I could incorporate that somehow. I have these wood veneers from Studio Calico, and I thought I would use this one that says Awesome. I have these are from I bought these at a garage sale, a scrapbooking garage sale. And this is Junket kits, and this is the grandparents kit, and I thought I could maybe try to use some of these ribbon sliders. We'll see. I pulled this stamp set from Lily B Design. This is Autumn Spice. And I like family, memories, us. Lots of little words in there could use. And I pulled these brads from Indie Chic from the My Mind's Eye. And this one is Citron Grow Decorative Brads. And as you can tell, I'm going with a yellow, brown, turquoise sort of color scheme. And then of course I need to pull the black in because this Fun Day paper has black in it. So that's where we're starting, and we'll see where we go. Thanks for watching. Hi guys, Gina here to narrate this layout. I am cutting those photos down to 4x4 like I said. I'm cutting the branding strip off of that background paper, and then you'll see me here layer these papers out a bit to figure out in which order I thought they look the best, because there's a polka dot on that one craft paper, and then there's the polka dot with the yellow. So I don't know, I didn't know about using the polka dots together. But it turns out that you don't see a whole lot of these pattern papers in the final layout, so it doesn't really matter that the patterns are together, the two polka dots. But I'm laying them out, and you'll see me here. I'm really being careful with how I measure because I messed up my last layout and then had to come up with some crazy way to fix it. So I really was careful on how I measured those papers because I didn't want to have to cut it again. So now I've laid it all out. I think I know where the pattern papers are going to go, and now I'm just looking at what I'm going to do for embellishments. And this actually changes a lot as I go through this. So where am I going to put those tickets? Just kind of layering things out to see where I want them to go. And then I'm going to open up that, it's kind of like a leather tape or a leather string. And I'm going to play with these ribbon sliders a bit and then end up not using them at all. They don't end up on the final layout. I couldn't get them to work the way that I wanted them to. So maybe next time. And at this point, I'm feeling like I'm going through and looking at some other things, but I'm feeling pretty confident at this point that that's the way I want it. So you'll see me here in a minute. I'm going to snap a photo of this, I think. Okay, I pulled out that awesome wood veneer to put on that circle. So looking at the stamps, see if I want to use any of them. And there we go. I'm going to take a picture of this. I got that idea from Tracy. She's Mercy Tierra on YouTube. And to take that picture with the phone so that I know where to line everything back up. And here again, you'll see me using the ruler and the trimmer. And it's really funny to watch because I typically don't pay that close attention to cutting and things like that. But with the mess up of the last layout, I was really conscious of that for this one. I find it even comical to watch because I know that that's not how I really am. Like I'm not all about that measuring stuff, so. But I'm being very cautious here because, like I said, I messed up that last layout. Oh, and here I figure out that I didn't ink any of those papers like I said I was going to. So here we go. We're going to pull all that up and then ink it. This is kind of a boring process to watch anyway. I don't typically ink stuff on my papers. I just felt because there was a lot of black in that background paper that those two the two yellowish kind of pattern papers really needed some black to pull this whole thing together. So that's why I went ahead and inked the edges of these papers. And then I'm centering them all in there. I don't want anything to extend past where that vertical, that horizontal, it's kind of like a angled stripe there. Diagonal stripe. That's the word I was looking for. Diagonal. So I don't want anything to extend into that diagonal stripe that outlines the page. So I'm being careful about how I cut all of these things to make sure that it doesn't extend into that area. And then as you can see, once the pictures go down and the other embellishments go down, you're really not going to be able to see all those mats anyway, but it does give a good grounding point for the photos and the layout. So I'm going to take this fun chipboard element from my mind's eye and I'm going to ink around the edges and I'm going to put the frame flush with the page, but then I'm going to put the fun part on dimensional adhesive and I'm going to put that in the middle so it'll actually sit above the frame instead of inside of it, which I really like. It's going to take two strips of that foam adhesive to get it to stick up there. And then here is another one of those chipboard embellishments for my mind's eye. I'm inking it and I figure this is where I'm going to put those two, and then I'm going to use a ribbon slide for another point of embellishment, always embellishing in 3. And then I decide that this one is a little too brown. It doesn't have a lot of black in it. So I thought, oh, well, I'll, make a little decorative element using this twine that came in that ATC kit. So I covered the entire back of the chipboard with adhesive and then I wrapped the string around it, but then I wanted it to be up off the page. So I used foam adhesive to adhere it to the page. And then I wanted something in the center, and right now I'm looking for a circle punch. Is where I'm off to. There we go. And I'm gonna just cut some. I needed the that center piece of paper to be a little more sturdy than just either that tag that came in that tag collection or that pattern paper. So I just punched a bunch of circles out of that pattern paper to make that sturdier so that it would hold up against that that twine that's on that. And then I'm going to stamp this little circle with the word us. And I'm just checking to make sure I like the color and all on the extra paper, on the scrap paper that's left. And then I'm going to wrap this twine around the layout. And I went to get staples for my tiny attacher because it was out. That thing seems to be perpetually out of staples. But, so. That is actually Scrapbook tape in there. It's non-acid tape that I use on the back to hold the twine. And then I'm going to staple it down using the tiny attacher. Still looking at that. Here's where I figure out that I don't like that ribbon slide at all. So I pull out another piece of chipboard and I'm going to punch the holes. It's like it's supposed to be a button. So I punched the holes out and now I'm threading some of that leather-like twine through it. I'm going to tie that off. And then I will have my cluster of 3 up in that corner for that embellishment set. And they all kind of go very well together. Cut them off and then put everything down. And we're going to call that section done. And then I want to use this, I still want to use this awesome speech bubble. The speech bubble says awesome. And then there are some blank tickets in that from that recollection set. So I'm going to actually stamp them. One of them says family and the other one says laugh. So I'm going to stamp them with stays on because the tickets have a bit of a slick surface. They're kind of shiny. So I'm going to use stays on ink and just stamp the words family and then the word laugh in those blank tickets so that each one of them has something. Each one of them says something. And then I'm going to put those down. Pardon me. Got a bit of a cold going on. Okay, there we go. Now the base of the layout is really coming together. It's just embellishment, and as you guys know who watch my videos, that's the part where I really struggle, is trying to figure out how to embellish and what I want to do with that. So here I'm thinking. And when I think, I typically go ahead and clean up. So that's what's happening now. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this layout anymore. I'm going to think about it. So I know I want to use that "you are so much fun to be around" phrase that's on that My Mind's Eye sticker sheet. So I still have that out, and then I pulled those breads out, but none of that. See, although I said that I wanted it to have some blue in it, this layout turns out to not have any blue in it. It turns out to be very brown, black, and yellow. And here I'm going to use these Ready Set Chip, excuse me, these Ready Set Chip letters from Cosmo Cricket, and they're old or something, but they're really like, I ripped the W. And I don't know what's wrong with them. They don't come out easily from the backing, so I want to get rid of them. So I'm just adding, so the phrase on the sticker sheet said "you are so much fun to be around," but I wanted to say "you too are so much fun to be around" because it really is, the two of them together is just really, really funny. So Add that, and then I'm going to pick up some of these people, these little silhouetted people. So I'm going to use two boys because they're two boys. But I decide that the chipboard, the plain chipboard is too stark a contrast to the other colors on the page, so I want to give them some color. So I'm going to color them with this yellow. I think that's mustard seed. Yeah, that's mustard seed. So I color in the awesome as well. And then place the little outlined people down and the awesome. So I have to put, because that's up on 2 levels of foam adhesive, that word fun, I have to put 2 or 3 layers of that foam adhesive on the back of that awesome to get it to sit up the way I want it to. But there it goes. Oh, some more even. Okay. It took me a while to figure out like how many layers of adhesive is going to be needed to get that awesome to sit up right. And here I'm off looking for more embellishments, I believe. And now I wanted to use those 2 pinwheels, but I don't like them up there, and I don't like them down there together. So I just keep going back and forth about these, and then I thought maybe I'll just layer them together. So we're just thinking, how are we going to embellish this page? And I decide, well, let me try to color one of them because I need yellow. I know that I need a 3rd spot of yellow because as of right now I only have 2. So I go over to my ink part, the ink where I store my inks, and pick these up. And I thought about just sprinkling the ink on there, but that didn't work. So I decided that I would go ahead and paint it on there. And I'm doing all this work here, and hopefully I'll find a use for this little now yellow chipboard piece because I don't end up using it on this layout at all. Imagine that. So it just doesn't work. Like, I don't like the spacing of it or something. Oh, and I forgot, look, again, I forgot to ink the corners of that larger pinwheel. So I'm picking that up to do that now. But that yellow, to put the yellow pinwheel in there would have just been a little bit too much. Not too much yellow, but just it didn't line up well with the other pinwheel, so that didn't work. So I was back to the drawing board about that. And here I'm thinking right now it's going to work, but I just can't get that spacing right. I don't like the color. Oh, and here's where I decide, well, maybe the color is just off and I need another color, but that doesn't help it either. And here you can see I'm just going through all of this. Like I said, embellishment is the hardest part of a layout for me. So going through all of this is just, it's almost like torture. I go to look at some more brads and see if maybe a different brad would help. I'm going to cut the tines off of the brad or the prongs or whatever you want to call them. I'm going to cut them off, and that the one that I cut off has the number 2 on it, so I thought I would put that in the center of those pinwheels, but that didn't look any better. So I'm actually going to move that 2 down to the fun, where it says fun in that box. And here's where I decide, I think this is where I decide that yellow pinwheel is not going to work. So I need to find something else to fill the center of that larger pinwheel, but to also give me another yellow, because there's yellow in 2 places on the layout, and to make that visual triangle I really want it in 3 places. So here I'm taking some wood veneers. They're Studio Calico wood veneers. Again, these are the circles. They're like pink circles. And I'm going to lay these down there in a similar way I did the fun in the frame for fun. So the outline of it is going to be flat, and then the inside of it is going to be raised. And with that yellow now we have that yellow visual triangle that I like. So we have that like that. I'm going to do some journaling. Oh, I'm looking for a dates sticker and where I'm going to put that. So that's from My Mind's Eye Lost and Found. It's that date stamp, the date sticker. I'm actually going to end up putting that down behind the pinwheel by Stu. There you go. I'm going to add the date in there and do my journaling. Lots of journaling about these two. And there's only two more things that I'm going to do with this layout. I'm going to add that number 2 Brad below the word fun. And you'll see that in a minute. And oh, here's the other part. I'm going to, so I took a little bit of water, mixed it with a little bit of this Jenny Bolin Lemon Drop paint to make it thin so that I can splatter it. I wanted it to be thin, kind of water down splatters. So just add some splatters in the 2 corners and over the embellishment. And here's the final layout. I added that 2 button, that 2 Brad down under the word fun, and that was that. So thank you guys for watching, and if you have any comments, leave them below. Talk to you soon. Bye.